based on what Eric said, he said we need to take 4,200 and divide that by 1 3/4 hours to figure out how much she can mow per hour. Okay, so if I take this, I have 4,200 divided by, let's see, what would that be? 4, 5, 6, 7 fourths. And so I would flip that and multiply then by 4/7. Okay, this is really not that hard because 7 goes into 4,200 how many times? 600. And then I can do the rest in my head, right? 6 times 4 is 2,400. So really, even that fraction was not that bad to work with. Did we get the first part? Okay, so now let's do the second one. So neighbor number 2 can do 5,400 divided by 2 1/4. So that would be what, 9 fourths? So 5,400 divided by 9 fourths. So I'm going to flip and multiply that by 4 ninths. This one again works out nice because 9 goes into 5,400 how many times? 600. And 600 times 4 is 2,400. This would be the work to prove whatever point you want to say. So if you want to say that they're equal, this is the work that goes along to prove that. So did we get both of those? Yes, we really did. Okay, good job. Yay. All right, 7-5 is basically word problems from everything we've done so far. And so I thought 7-5, this would be a good time for us to kind of regather and see how we're doing on it, because we will start officially reviewing tomorrow and Wednesday, and then test on Thursday. Remember, since this was a pretty short unit, it's just another 50-point quiz, so to match up like with last unit, and then once we get to the next topic, we'll go back to our 100 points. All right, so let's look at what we're going to do today. So again, the student will understand how to simplify ratios, rates, and unit rates. What was the difference between ratios and rates? Okay, unit rates compares to 1. Okay, that's good. What about ratios and rates? Very good. So ratios was same. That's really important. This can be different, and this is per 1. Okay, those were the 3 big vocabulary words. And that really helps me when I'm reading a word problem. When it says ratios, I'm like, ding, ding, ding. That means I have to be in the same units. And that's going to help us today, too. Okay, now, to me, this feels hard. But sometimes when I think stuff feels hard, you guys get it really easy. So just don't get frustrated, and let's do it step by step. So the first one says, what is the ratio of the length of the tile to the length of the board? So this is supposed to be like, I don't know why you'd have a purple tile, but maybe you're just really fancy. And so they want to see purple tile, this is just a board, and we're going to put it on top of that board. So they use the word ratio, so that tells us what? Same units. Okay, are they currently in the same units? No, so we're going to have to do some converting. Okay, it says the length of the tile, here's our magic word 2 that we've talked about. So we want the length of the tile to come first. So if I look over here, the length of the tile would be 1/4 of a foot. Okay, then it says to the length of the board. So the length of the board is right here at 1/4 yards. Okay, everybody get what I've done so far? If I lose you, just tell me. Okay, so now I have to be in the same unit. So sometimes what I do to myself is if I'm confused with fractions, I might change it to something I understand. So I might, like, off to the side go, okay, if I had 2 feet and 6 yards, would I want them, well, let's make it not easy. How about 7 yards? Would I want them all in feet or all in yards? Probably all in feet. That would be easiest. How would you change all that to feet? How many feet are in a yard? So what would I do here? Multiply by 3. Do I touch the top one? No. So what do I need to do on this one? Which one? Just the bottom one. Does that make sense? So sometimes, like I said, I convert it to numbers I understand. All right, so I'm just going to multiply this by 3 so that I get it into feet. Okay, so what's 1/4 times 3? 3/4, right? Okay, so now I have 1/4 foot over 3/4 foot, or feet. Okay, and then now I need to simplify. So what did I teach you? How do you simplify that? Come on, this is the easier part. Yeah, didn't we just say this is just division? You guys act like you know this? Okay, we all just didn't stare at me. Okay, like this, right? Okay, then flip it and multiply. Alright. And so I get 1/3, okay? Which would be the same thing as saying 1, 2, 3, or 1 dot dot 3, or 1/3. All of those are the same. Okay? Alright. So that's the first one. Second one, what is the ratio of the area of the tile to the area of the board? Okay, so this one's, I think, almost a little harder because it's got a little more work to it. Okay, what is the ratio? So same units. Here's the magic word 2. So the area of the tile. How do I find the area of any rectangular shape? Length times width, right? And you guys still want to work with feet? That's probably easiest. Okay, so if I'm going to do this one, area of the tile is 1/4 times 1/6. 1/4 times 1/6 is 1/24, right? Okay, is that okay so far? That would be feet squared, right? Because we're talking about area. Okay, now, I need this to be in the same units. Always change your units before you multiply because it will change your answer. Okay, so let's look at this one. So we already changed that one, right? So what should that be in feet? This one? What? 1/4 times 3, right? 3/4? Okay, so this one's 3/4 feet. And then multiply this one by 3. What do I get? 1/2? You guys cool with that? Okay, so now can I multiply those two together? And we're looking for area, right? So we already found the area of this one. Now we're going to find the area of this one. So we have 3/4 times 1/2. So that's going to be what? 3/8. Okay, now see if you understand everything I have up there. Yes, Carter. Deep breath, you're all right. Okay. Do you guys see where I got 1/24? Yes? Do you see where I got 3/8? Nora, what's wrong? You have a weird look on your face. How did I get what? 3/8? Okay, so this was in yards. I multiplied by 3 to get it to feet. So I multiply by 3, I get 3/4. When I multiply 1/6 by 3, I get 1/2. And then I multiplied 3/4 times this, because base times height gives me this. Got that? Okay, everybody else? Catherine, what's wrong? Well, what part did I lose you at? Sure? Looks like a really sure face.
Well, it's not blurry.
It's blurry. Okay, sorry. Alright, so now what I need to do is write the ratio of the area of the tile. So I'm going to start with the area of the tile, which is 1/24. Okay, so 1/24 over the area of the board, which is 3/8. And now we know what to do, right? This is just our division problem. So 1/24 divided by 3/8. So I'm going to change this to multiplication and flip it to 8/3. Okay, so I'm going to cross reduce. So 8 goes in itself once, goes into 24, and I get 1/9 or 1/29, which is really going to help me with the next question. Okay, so question C says, how many tiles will fit on the board without overlapping? How many? 9. If the area is 1 to 9, that means 9 of them will fit in here. Because what? Because that's its area. Exactly. Does that make sense? So then I don't even have to do anything on that one. It's just 9. Okay. As you're processing this, anything that I can help with? Yes, Catherine.
So if it was like 2 to 9, how would you do that? Like, how would you say how many times?
It was 2 to 9.
It would be like.
Well, the problem is that this says without overlapping, they would not fit on there evenly.
So it would be like 2, or it would be like 4.
we're going to look at, we're going to look at a little bit of that in a cooking recipe here in a minute. But they wouldn't fit on perfect. They would have to cut the tiles. You should get a fraction. Yes.
If you got 1/9, you get 1/2.
Because remember, we can write in 3 different ways. 1, 2, 9, 1 dot 9, or 1 over 9. They all mean the same. This is actually 1/9 the size of this. This is 9 times larger than that. Okay? Anybody else? Okay, let's try one that's similar but less complicated. So if you feel like you didn't get that one, see if you get this one. Okay? So start fresh. All right. So the image on a digital camera screen is 1.5 inch by 1 inch. When the image is printed, it is 1 foot by 1/3 foot. What is the ratio of the area of the image on the camera screen to the area of the print? So when I worked this one myself, I like pictures. So I drew myself a picture of the digital screen, and I figured a digital screen is going to be small. So it's 1.5 inch by 1 inch. So I knew the long side would be 1.5 by 1, and these are in inches. Then I imagine that I blew the picture up, and it's now 1/2 foot by 1/3 foot. So then this is going to be a little bigger. I knew that 1/2 foot is bigger than 1/3 foot, so this would be the 1/2 foot. This would be the 1/3 foot. Everything makes sense so far. Okay, so then I take this, and it says, what is the ratio of the area of the image? So what do I need to do first? Samantha. Convert them either into inches or feet, which this one's is going to be a lot easier to convert to inches, right? Okay, so then I'm going to go ahead and convert both to inches. So there's 12 inches in a foot, 12 inches. So this one's easy, right? It's going to be 6 inches, good. And what's this one over here going to be? 4 inches, which should make sense. You guys probably have some 4 by 6 pictures, right? That's a pretty standard size. Okay, now what do I need to do? I gotta find the areas, right? Multiply. Okay, so multiply each one. So 6 times 4, this one is 24 square inches. Good. All right, and then this one over here is going to be, let's see, what? Just 1.5 times 1 is 1.5. Or if you want to say 3/2 inches, either way. Okay, all right. Now, it said ratio, which is why we knew it had to be in the same units. It said area. The magic word 2 is right here. So we want the area of the image on the camera screen, which would be this one. So 3/2 divided by the area of the print, which is 24. Good with that? Yes. It's not 12 times 3, it's 1/3 times 12, which would be 12/3, which would be 4. Yes, Samantha? Okay, because I have to simplify the ratio. Here's my word 2, so I'm setting up my ratio to simplify. Anybody else? Catherine?
Like when you're converting the feet into inches, you just put the top one by the number and it's going to be times the number by the most top.
I'm just simply multiplying the 2 fractions. You mean this? And we did that mentally. We just said that would be 12/3, which would be 4. Is that what you mean? Okay, yeah. All right, good now? Okay, so 3/2 divided by 24, which means I'm going to flip it and change it to 1/24. Looks like I can do some cross-canceling here. 3 goes in here 8 times. 1 times 1 is 1/16. 1 to 16. So how many of these would fit inside of this one? 16 of them. Very good. Okay. Did that seem a little, like the second time through it, seem a little better? Okay. All right. Let's look at the next one. I know, these are hard. Okay. This one I don't want to do. I meant to take that one out. I'm going to do this one.